Ireland, clean like whistle gun, dirty but it listen. Links big but me gal them pussy like me a push badness like say I sit and cripple. She see the long clip on it tough up her nipple. Lord, no run joke, me no giggle, me love see boy they don't love see girl jiggle. When them life a scratch me and miggle. Yo, they the first. We do grind, miggle, deal. Tell it down, make a video for my play. Your ears to the Glock, chip up on the screen. I'm a valley, we go on the place and we do grind, miggle, deal. Girl love me for me evil ways. She honey because she see some of the brave. Yeah, but fuck a girl pan enemy grave, yo. Can't fuck with the name of street. Me chain a freeze, me full of gun, me give me neighbor tree. Taking the badness, me no make no tailor do it. Go in any garrison, me no pay no fee. I saw me do it. Them afraid of my dog, them if them not afraid of me. Be my TikTok neat. No wait till it cool, me say hot cup of tea. Me tight to rifle like it cooks 2 piece. When you a pick war, watch how you choose beef. Mix killers far west with ease. Make Henny and stress with ease. The thing loud but we step discreet. We don't miss, don't get mislead. Contract killer full of name like Leeds. Jet please, tell them we do grind, miggle, deal. Tell it down, make a video for my play. Yes, the Glock chip up on the screen. I'm a valley, we go on the place and we do grind, nigga, deal. Girl love me for me evil ways. She honey because she see some of the brave. Yeah, but fuck a girl pan enemy grave, yo. Clean like whistle gun, dirty but it listen. Links big but me girl them pussy little. Me a push badness like say I sit and cripple. She see the long clip on it tough up her nipple. Lord, no run joke, me no giggle, me love see boy they don't love see girl jiggle. When them life a scratch me and miggle. Yo, they the first. We do grind, miggle, deal. Tell it down, make a video for my play. Yes, the Glock chip up on the screen.
I said, hey, yo. Welcome to Disagreeable. This is Disagreeable. I am Disagreeable. If we have any audio issues or whatever, let me know. Let me know. Audio looks a bit funny to me. You feel me? You feel me? Actually, I might play another intro video. I know most of the people who slide through this show are Black Americans. I think so. I think so for the most part. You know, and black people are at war. You feel me? A war that I'm not involved in. You feel me? I'm half Jamaican. I was born in New York, Bronx. I was born in Bronx, New York. You feel me? The American side of my family is so American that you can't find slavery. So let's not talk about that. We can get into those conversations. But black people are at war. So-called black people. FBAs versus foreigners, tethers, or whatever you want to call them. It's a mess. But I'm in the middle, and I don't give a shit. I win either way. I get the ingenuity and gratefulness of a foreigner, and I also get the intensity, creativity, and the influence of the Black American. You feel me? Influence of the Black American. Actually, you know what? I will play another intro video because I don't give a shit. Nobody's here. I'm chilling. It is what it is. And what do I make the title of the show? The title of the show is Breaking Patterns, Remembering Chaos. Breaking Patterns, Remembering Chaos. You feel me? But, you know, I'm going to drop another intro video because I feel like hearing it. This should keep the Americans out of here today. This should keep the Americans out of here today. I was gonna skip forward, but this shit sounds so fucking fire. Like, hold up. Boom. Let's go here with it. Yeah.
I'ma make my money talk for me, no borrow.
I said, hey, yo, I just want to hear that intro. You feel me? Nobody was in here, so we're gonna let the intro tracks play. But let's see the title of the show: Breaking Patterns, Remembering Chaos, Remembering. You feel me? Putting back together, taking chaotic events, traumatic events, life itself, and we remember this chaos and create what we want out of it. You feel me? Breaking patterns introduces novelty. How long can you endure? How long can you endure to break these patterns? Hold up. All right, all right. Somebody was texting me. How long can you endure to break the pattern? You feel me? Because the pattern you just created is safe. It's most likely cyclical. You feel me? Can you endure the chaos in order to remember that chaos and create a new reality? Can you do it? Or are you gonna fold? You're gonna take it like a man or snitch like a bitch? You feel me? Let me drop the link. Let me drop the link. No real plan for this show. See whoever slides through. Actually, let me take out my notebook. Whatever comes to my mind, I want to take a couple notes. Where's my composition? Did I bring my... Yeah, we got the composition. Always got a pen on me. Always got a pen on me. Yeah. So let's talk about this. And this is for those... let me not say that. That might sound like a little arrogant, and it's not necessarily accurate either. Because it's very rare that you're forging something new as far as a pattern of living outside of forging a new pattern of living. That is some extreme shit. So I want to try to pressure everybody to get within that category. I wouldn't want to pressure anybody to get within that category or anything like that. But because that is fact. Outside of art, there's not much novelty being created, and that is a problem. Maybe that's why we need to connect to the art some more. It's like, it's funny to me how people, the masses, the general population, they get older and older, right? And they will let go of imagination and creativity and hold on to children's games like fucking football and basketball, and they'll still be interested in that and be able to keep up. Oh, you saw LeJonis, or whatever these niggas' names be. Oh, you saw LeJonis, he came out there, that boy's good and all this shit. You're a grown-ass fucking man worried about a 20-something-year-old going to be a slave and run up and down the field. That's what you, from your childhood, that's what you decided to keep. The most pathetic, childlike thing ever. Back in the days, they said games were for children. They said games were for children. And they created this sports entertainment in order for you to have somewhere to put your tribalism and to let out your warlike tendencies, because you think you're doing something. You watch we won, we lost. You didn't do shit. You didn't do shit except spend money and be a fucking consumer. A consumer of ads during the game, a consumer of sports paraphernalia and all that shit. You didn't do shit. You feel me? That just popped in my mind. It's very interesting how people will keep the most retarded shit from their childhood, but they will let go of imagination and creativity. You feel me? Curiosity. They'll let go of that shit. Yo, I got to figure out, if I need to know something, I'll watch the news. If I need to know something, I'll watch the news. All right. Now, let's get into some simple pattern breaking. Because when people think about change, they make it very extreme. You know, it's usually something they're very unhappy with themselves about. You're overweight, you feel me? Your financial position, something like that. That's very heavy to change instantly. All right. So why don't you look at things that you could change instantly, like your speech patterns? Because you know, if you change your speech patterns, if you're consciously changing your speech patterns, that means that you are thinking. By default, I make you think. You feel me? This is going to be part of my program. First thing you need to do before we get into all the extra shit is change your speech patterns. So, for example, if you're the most obvious one, if you're somebody who is very vulgar, you know, you use profanity nonstop, like myself sometimes, just decide I'm not cursing anymore. Think I'm bullshitting? Just decide I'm not cursing anymore. I'm not using profanity, and see how your mind changes. See how the circuitry in your brain starts to change. You feel me? If you're somebody who doesn't curse very often, just be observant of yourself. Just be observant of yourself and pick out what words you use too much. You feel me? They become your main pattern of speech. Pick out those words and replace those words with different words and see how your mind opens up, how new neural pathways begin to form. You feel me? One that's a little tougher, but also easy because it requires nothing, is fasting. Because one of the main patterns that you have is eating every goddamn day just to eat flavors and taste shit. You feel me? Eating. That's one of the main ones. That's why you can get a deep physical cleanse, obviously, and a deep mental cleanse from fasting. That's why all these cultures from back in the days talk about fasting. You feel me? And then again, it's like I was saying earlier, how long can you endure? Can you endure the chaos of letting go of your pattern in order to remember the chaos and create something new from it? How long can you endure? Did I drop the link? Hold on, I thought I dropped the link. Thought I dropped the link. Boom. Now, you can also create a pattern to cause disruption within your normal patterns. You feel me? For example, I like this one because it's easy and it's hard. Pause. Hindu squats. Hindu squats. The exercise Hindu squats. If you don't do shit, you can do one squat because most likely you get things off the ground, you got up, you know you can stand up. That's the beauty of the flat-footed Hindu squat. You feel me? You just do Hindu squats until you no longer can do Hindu squats. You feel me? It sounds like, oh, you're just doing some endurance exercise. Is it an endurance exercise or is it a mental exercise? Because when you're doing other exercises, such as like a bench press or a overhead press or some shit like that, you will get to a point of failure where you really can't push it. You feel me? But the thing about the leg muscles, which is your most used muscles in your body and shit, the thing about your leg muscles is when you're doing these Hindu squats, you're gonna get to a point where you're tired, your legs are burning, blah blah blah. But can you really not stand up? Can you really not stand up? You feel me? And that's where the mental toughness comes into it. That's where the pattern breaking of your mental limits come into play. Because you'll be so tired, but something incredible about the human legs and how much you use them, you can still stand up. And you're gonna realize that you're a bitch at some point. You feel me? Can I really not stand up? Just like I guess women can do it too. I guess women can do it too, but I see it as like a more of a mental toughness for a man, you know. And using your what are the technical names of these muscles? Your thigh muscles and shit. Your like, yeah, I'm not an expert on that, but I know squats boost your testosterone by default. So you're also going to get nice with some other things. You're also going to get nice with some other things. People are sitting here in the chat. If you have you, what patterns have you broken? What patterns have you broken? What conscious decisions that did you make to make a change within the cyclical patterns of your life? Some that could be negative feedback loops. You feel me? What have you done when confronted with an issue? Because most people usually don't want to change until their life is on the line or some shit like that, until they have like a medical emergency or something. That's when people start thinking about changing, when you should be thinking about it well before that. I remember back in the day, this is mad years ago now, but I didn't eat sugar for like a year. I didn't eat sugar for like a year. Just because I don't like going to the doctor. And I was like, damn, am I getting some weird issues or something like that? Let me see what I could do about that. Made a conscious decision, broke pattern, didn't consume any sugar for like a year. I don't even like candy and all that shit. I was addicted to the coladas, to the Cuban coffee, dog. So you're getting sugar and you're getting a crazy shot of caffeine at the same time. That's drugs, man. That's drugs. So I stopped that, stopped the caffeine, stopped the sugar, and any type of sugar, including fruit, all that shit for like a year. And the next time that I ate some fucking fruit, I remember, I think it was a strawberry, and it was so intense that I spit it out. That lets you know how fucked we are in society. The amount of sugar that is just normal for us to consume every day. You feel me? To the point where you think some fruit is some mild shit. You feel me? No, this is not really sweet. This isn't that nigga. That's like a cokehead saying this coffee's not it's not that strong. Yeah, nigga, you be doing coke. Of course, the coffee's not that strong to you. And like I said, in breaking patterns, you can create a pattern to cause disruption within your morphic field or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Something that you let go from childhood, pick it back up. Pick it back up. Turn your imagination back on. Turn your creativity back on. You feel me? Don't care what it is. If you like to rap, start making some music, drop some beats or whatever, dog. You're not trying to get a record deal. Motherfucker shamed you out of your creativity. If you want to do that, do that. If you want to paint, paint. Why you stop painting? Why did you stop painting? It's pathetic. And that's the real shit, because I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. So I remember talking to some of my other homies back in the days within the creative circles and shit. And I was like, yo, were all these people who acted like they had hobbies and creative outlets and all that shit when they were younger, were these just NPCs fronting? They just wanted to be cool. So if it was like, if they thought they'd get some attention and it'd be cool to paint or whatever, they paint. If they thought they'd get some attention and it'd be cool to rap or whatever, they'd rap. If they thought they'd get some attention and it was cool to skateboard or whatever, they were down with skateboarding. Nobody did anything out of what they were attracted to. So I'm trying to shoot people bail and say that they just let it go. You feel me? And why would you let it go? There's no excuse. Even if you have a family, children, all that, you tapping into your creativity, you tapping into your imagination and your visionary state will make your family better. So yeah, break that pattern by creating the pattern. Add some disruption to your field. You feel me? If you're more adventurous, sprinkle a little psychedelics in there. But I don't want to be an evangelist for psilocybin or anything like that, because people are extremists and addicts. You feel me? You tell a motherfucker to go do a little of something. And yes, I said psychedelics, psilocybin or something like that. Most of you loser motherfuckers just drinking liquor. You feel me? Let's be real about this. Let's be real about this. And I'm talking to black people right now. Shout out to white people. I'm talking to black people right now. You know, when you get around niggas and niggas talk so much about, like, it'll be some minor shit on the road with like a white person or something, to be like, yeah, look at that cracker motherfucker. He probably a Trump supporter, or say something like that. Like they hate white people so much. Shut the fuck up. That shit pisses me off, because you motherfuckers love white people. You love them. You love them. You love them. You love them. Because as soon as you go or in a medical emergency or something like that, or not even when it's not even an emergency yet, as soon as you're getting like, oh, I could be getting some type of medical shit going on, you don't try to heal yourself. You run straight to the cracker. You run straight to the cracker. You don't care. Excuse me, my bad for, I'm talking to black people like we're alone and shit. My bad to the white people. I don't got no issues with you like that. Feel me? I don't got no issues with you like that. But you run straight to the cracker. You feel me? And do whatever he says. Don't ask any questions. But if a black person or somebody indigenous comes around you, they try to let you know, yeah, you should do this, up these herbs, do this. You look at them like they're fucking crazy. But you run straight to the cracker, let him give you any synthetic drug. You're not asking shit. That shit comes with a fucking booklet with paragraphs in it. You're not reading any of that shit. You know how I know that shit comes with booklets and paragraphs? Why? Because in my past life, I was getting giant bottles of certain things, and I had the booklets that the pharmacist gets. You're not supposed to get. You feel me? In my past life. And me being the nerd that I am, even though I was hustling, I read through all that shit. You feel me? You'll love white people. You'll do whatever they tell you to do. You feel me? And that translates also over to what what's acceptable to you. Even within the so-called like black community, if somebody sees himself as like a high-value progressive brother, whatever title he puts on himself, this nigga will look down on somebody drinking, somebody look down on somebody smoking herb. But these motherfuckers will indulge in alcohol. So as long as a white man says it's okay, it's good for you, even though it's the most destructive, poisonous, causes more deaths, that shit is fucking hell poison, dog. You feel me? But as long as a white man says it's cool, then that's cool. That's what you consume. That's what you'll do. You feel me? Zero benefit from that shit. Zero. They came out with that dumb shit telling bitches like, oh, in Europe, it's good for your heart to have a glass of red wine and all that. Shut the fuck up. You don't need no fucking red wine. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You need no damn red wine. You need a man. But that's another subject. That's another subject. Oh, let me sip this tea. That should get cold. Delicious green tea. So yeah, I dropped the link. It's open panel. Nobody pulling up, and maybe I'll start working on some things. Maybe I could turn into a business stream. I'm currently building an AI agent for a business I'm working on. So, it's not really that difficult. It's not really that difficult. Like these chat bots and this AI period has made the barrier to entry like pretty fucking low. Like programmers and all this shit and people to build websites and everything that you have to pay. You don't have to do that anymore. If you have like a little bit of self-startership in you. And also these basic ass services, you can sell these things to people who don't know shit and just run up a premium. That's how all these young cats are making millions of dollars and running up like big checks every month. You feel me? Like they're using the chat bots to do the wholesaling of the houses, using the chat bots to build websites for businesses that don't have websites and shit. They're not doing anything. getting paid. Like one of my good friends from Miami, he has a master's degree in marketing. He was in corporate marketing on Wall Street, and now he has his own marketing brand company, right? I already knew it was like this. I always knew it was like this. But when I actually was around him and I saw the numbers, because like anybody around me, I'm giving them infinite ideas. I'm infinite ideas, creativities, and ingenuity and futurism. You feel me? So I'm chopping it up with him. I'm chopping it up with him about his business, and I'm seeing how through the marketing company, he's just middlemaning all these services and doing a crazy upcharge, insane. And I already knew this, but it's just it was just the degree of the upcharge and how smooth he was getting this money. And I'm like, this shit is all social engineering. Everything is just social engineering. It's just manipulation. You feel me? Well, I got some clothes in the washing machine. I think I just heard the little song that it does go off. Hold up. Who's here anyways? Yeah, so anybody's watching this shit. All right, I'm gonna go get my laundry out of there. Fuck, all right. That just says 0 people watching. Yeah, let me go get, you know what? I'm gonna go get myself out the, put myself in the dryer then. Yeah, and since this is right here, I'm gonna let this play. I haven't seen Homie in the chat in a minute, and he was uploading some videos, and he stopped uploading them. Hold on, give me a second. Oh no, nobody's here anyways. Nobody's here anyways. So yeah, he hasn't uploaded shit in a minute. Hopefully the homie's all right. Cameron, Uzoka. Hopefully the homie's doing well. But yeah, I'm gonna go put myself in the dryer and I'm gonna let the homie share rock out.
Yeah, look, I was high in between all of my life. So my free smoke, that's a fly. Goodness me, cold world, the ride. Follow me to the freeway. Watch out the girls get the pussy with no delay. Ride press could be whatever the freak say. He says money up for the BJ. Whoa, holding up the wear PJ. Ho, plant out like a CJ. Free kids on the way, I'm very amazed. Gonna charge on the dad, no sweet for the crack, no green for the rat. I'm crazy to that. Yeah, I'm crazy to that. Yeah. Oh. Who are you in the air? Can you sleep with yourself before anyone else? Anyone care if I'm dead, fire in the rainy day? Tell my people I'm okay. Hey, AK to my grave, pistols up I for my name. Hey, yeah. So part of the agenda, yeah. So part of the agenda. Grinding since November, sunset morning, afternoon, doing what we do. Last month before the silence, take off as I don't mind it. Grand for now, something to hold on to. But don't worry about me though, cause my evils leave me in peace though. Devil left me in debt, got my witness. I've been sinning from the gag. On my D up on this weed up and forget. And the unofficial issue we done had. Life don't owe you anything, so we in need. Crazy as that, yeah. How sick is that, yeah. But I'm who are you in the air? Can you sleep with yourself before anyone else?
and he won't care if I'm dead, fire in the rainy day. Tell my people I'm okay. Hey, AK to my grave, pistols up out for my name. Hey, yeah. So part of the agenda, yeah. So part of the agenda, grinding since November, sunset morning afternoon, doing what we do, doing what we do.
Yeah. I forgot how good that song was. Yo, shout out to Cameron Uzoka. Yeah, I had to go put my shit in the dryer. Shout out to Cameron. Who are you in the end? Yo, that hook was crazy. I forgot how fire that shit was. Hold up. It was crazy. Hold up.
I've been sinning from the gag on my D up on this weed up and forget. And the unofficial issue we done had, like don't owe you anything, so we in need. Crazy that, yeah, how sick is that, but I don't gotta listen. Who are you in the end? Can you sleep with yourself before anyone else? Anyone can?
Who are you in the end? Can you sleep with yourself before anyone else? Like, yo, shout out to black people, dog.
If I'm dead, fire in the rainy day, tell my people I'm okay. Hey, AK to my grave, pistols up out for my name. Hey, yeah. So part of the agenda.
Yo, shout out to Cameron, dog. I haven't seen him around in a minute. Well, big up my UK brethren, Cameron, my African family, man. Who are you in the end? Can you sleep with yourself before anyone else? It's crazy, like, sometimes I think about it. Is it just less, have I released myself from a certain level of mind control that there is nothing I can get from a mainstream track at all? Or was shit just better back in the days? You feel me? And when I say back in the days, I'll even say before my time. Because there's music way before my time that I discovered when I was older, and that shit fucked me up. You ever watch that Anita Baker live? Yo, you ever watch that Anita Baker live concert on I think that shit is on YouTube. They like dubbed the VHS tape. That's what I'm saying. Everybody fell off. Black people fell off, man. It's like, this shit's sad, bro. Yo. Hold up. Yeah, come on. Let's do this. And let's do this.
With all my heart, I love you, baby. Stay with me, and you will.
See, maybe I should do a show about how to save the black community. It's definitely through music and mutual simping. If you listen to the old music back in the days, it was both sides were just begging. Both sides were just begging.
You'll see my arms, will hold you, baby. never leave, 'cause I believe I'm in love. Come on, sing it with me, sweet love.
No vocal track. No vocal track. Just in there feeling that shit don't exist no more. Even an R&B bitch singing about her pussy and shit. I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about love and how you miss somebody and shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? Imagine being in that room and being able to feel those octaves direct on you. You feel me? Changing your DNA and shit. You feel me? The record player had the diamond tip on the needle. The diamond tip on the needle was hitting the fucking, come on, man. We know we got real music. We got digital music, dog. It's trash. It's just doing nothing for you. This shit is poison. The music is like fucking alcohol, dog, to be real. Another shit, when black people talking about how you hate white people so much, you don't hate white, you love them. Look at all the artists. You don't make these artists popular. You don't choose these artists. These companies who are propping these people up. And you don't question it at all. Beyonce's the best, right?
Your heart has called closer to you. I will be.
This shit is a dub of a VHS on some digital shit, and it's touching my goddamn soul right now. I haven't listened to this shit in a minute. You feel me? I'm glad I didn't find the one I was looking for, which is a whole concert, because I probably just let that whole shit rock out right now.
All that you need, just trust. What will be there? Never leave us. Baby, I'm believing this love. Sweet love. You're
Eyes closed, just spitting from the Akashic records and shit like that. Eyes closed, channeling, fucking DNA changing shit. That's why they don't want niggas partying no more. They don't want niggas partying. Niggas partying, listen to love music and shit.
I feel no shame on the love. Sweet love. Don't you run away. It'll always be this way. There's no stronger love in this world. Oh, baby, no. With my man, I'm your girl. I'll never go where the sea can be wrong. Don't you know this is the way you belong? How sweet this dream.
She is in fucking outer space right now, channeling. Why can't I say channeling today? Channeling this shit. Niggas act like he's so cool. I just listen to rap all day. Yeah, that's what you do? You listen to rap all day? That's what you do? You listen to rap all day? Mm-hmm. Since nobody's here, I'm just gonna vibe and listen to shit I want to listen to. Fuck you niggas. to keep it $1. Now I'm just thinking of all this old shit I haven't heard in a while. And I have been thinking to going back to listening to Kathleen Battle, Mozart 7th? No, 9th. Kathleen Battle, Mozart 7th. It might be 9th. You know what? I'm gonna put that back in my save shit, because I need to go back to listening to that shit every morning when I wake up. Like years ago, this was my ritual for a long time. Every single morning when I woke up, I would listen to Kathleen Battle, Mozart. I think it's his 9th or some shit like that. What was I about to go to right now? I wanted to hear something. Oh yeah, I wanted to hear this shit. There we go. There we go. Talk this shit. This is some special shit. If you've never seen it, you feel me? This is some special shit. I want you to see the crowd. It pains me that I'm raised in this era, and I'm not. Who is there to go see right now like this? It pains me that I'm raised in this era. You know how fly it will be to roll up in a fucking suit in Europe? Some fly ass suit in Europe and shit. Sitting with all the white people who really still appreciate music. I guess the tickets are expensive as fuck, but really still appreciate music and shit. Before Prince died and shit, them shits are full of white people. You feel me?
This is a man's world. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. You see, man made the car, the chickens over the road. Man made the train, carry the heavy load. Man made the electric lights, the chickens out of the dark. And man made the boat for the water. Like my Bible said, Noah made the ark. This is a man's world. Ow! But it wouldn't be nothing about a woman or a girl.
I wonder if they're gonna take my shit down for letting this rock. Because whatever white person owns this goddamn audio, I know they let the other nigga get a penny out of this. Yo, my shit's not monetized. This is a reaction or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, this is satire and all that. You feel me? For fair use.
L'uomo rincorre il potere, ma lui non sa. E il grande inizia ad essere come si parla. Nel palmo stringere un'idea che non vive. Nella sua fantasia corre se non si accorge che poi nulla più senza te si vive solo per sé.
This shit's wavy as hell. I'm telling you, white people fell off too, though. Everybody fell off. Everybody fell off. Pavarotti up there looking like claymation, killing it. I don't know what he's talking about, but I know that shit is wavy.
Man thinks about a little bit of baby girls and a baby boy. Man thinks I'm happy because man make them toys. But after man made everything he can, man made lira, pesos, dollars, rubles, to buy from every good woman and every man. Ooh, this is a man's world.
Yo, that shit is so cold, dog. Yo, that shit is so cold. What are those shits called? Like, are they the standing bass or what is that shit called in there? Yo, the shit that you play with the Is it called a bow? The shit that you play with a bow, they were plucking it. Yo, that shit is cold, man.
He's lost in the wilderness. Some man's world. He's lost.
E non si accorge che poi non la più senza me si vive solo per sé, solo per sé, solo per sé.
This is a man's world.
Yo, that shit is so fucking cold. Live, no backtrack. That shit is insane. And that's why I feel like I'm missing out. What is there that I can go see like this nowadays? You feel me? And I don't know if they've been taking my show off for playing it. You feel me? They might get rid of my channel after this. It is what it is. I'm just vibing right now. You feel me? I drop the link and nobody pull up. It is what it is. Let me know in the chat if they've been cutting off the show because I've been playing this long ass segments of music, James Brown and expensive ass shit like Pavarotti music. That shit's too cold. That shit's too cold. I'm about to roll over. I'm about to roll over the joint and just vibe. I'm not even trying to talk to you niggas anymore. Let's just listen to some music. Let's just listen to some music. I'll drop the link, see if anybody wants to come up. Because as I listen to this shit, it has me thinking about all the old shit I used to rock all the time. I remember the Italian homie. Shout out to Luigi. Yes, that's his name. Shout out to Luigi. I want to say his last name just to push it up, but I guess I don't know. These people are too kind of big pauses to be putting the names out there. So, but yeah, shout out to Luigi. Shout out to his pops. That we were like on the back end of high school and shit, wilding. You feel me? One time we got from North Miami to the beach to his dad's club in like. That shit was like 10 minutes, dog. It was insane, yo. It's crazy that we didn't die. This nigga Luigi is crazy, yo. These Italian niggas, when it comes to driving the car, are out of their goddamn minds. And nigga, we were in a Daewoo. I remember this like it was yesterday. We were in a Daewoo. This nigga was passing on this, yo. We were retarded, yo. Young people are retarded, man. If you've been in Miami, you know the express lane like cuts off from the rest of 95 and it becomes like a single lane and goes up like in the air. You know what I'm saying? This nigga was cutting on the single lane, dog. We got to. I remember we looked at that shit. We got there like in 11 minutes. We were like, what the fuck? But you know, you gotta live. You gotta live. But he put me up on this. Let's see if I can find it. Can I find it? I can't remember the guy's name. Lucio Battisti on quarter 2. This definitely didn't come out 4 years ago, but I guess they reposted it because this was like mad years ago when I was out hustling. This was like for a whole summer. This was like really my track for a whole summer. Shit was crazy. But yeah, we're breaking patterns right now because I know you niggas never listen to nothing like this. So put it on the big screen.
Ancora tu. sorprende, lo sai. Ancora tu. Ma non dovevamo vederci più. E come stai? Domanda inutile. Stai come me e ci scappa da ridere. Amore mio, hai già mangiato o no?
You gotta understand what the fuck was going on. Moving around a lot of shit. Summertime, hot. Miami. I'm not FBA, so I can wear sandals, dog. Rocking the Gucci sandals every day. Shirt open, shades on, Miami Vice shit. You feel me?
Ho fame anch'io e non soltanto di te. Che bella sei, sembri più giovane, o forse sei solo più simpatica. Oh, io lo so cosa tu vuoi sapere. Nessuna no, ho solo ripreso a fumare. Sei ancora tu, purtroppo l'unica. Ancora tu.
I don't need to know Italian to know that this nigga means this shit.
L'incorreggibile, ma lasciarti non è possibile.
That's the wave right there. You feel me? You don't even gotta be hitting notes. I think you can never, to a mundane, base level thinking human, you can never explain this shit. The wave can't be explained. It's to be observed. You feel me?
Lasciarti non è possibile. Lasciarti non è possibile. No, lasciarti non è possibile. Na, 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 na. Na, na, na. Sei ancora tu, purtroppo l'unica. Ancora tu, l'incorreggibile, ma lasciarti non è possibile. No, lasciarti non è possibile.
Shit's cold. Shit's cold.
Lasciarti non è possibile. No, lasciarti non è possibile. Disperazione, gioia mia, sarò ancora tuo, sperando che non sia follia, ma sia quel che sia. Abbracciami amore mio, abbracciami amor mio, che adesso lo voglio anch'io. Ancora tu, non mi sorprende, lo sai. Ancora tu, ma non dovevamo vederci più. E come stai? Domanda inutile.
No, I'm not even sure I know what that means. Let me look at what this means after all these years to listen to this song. Hold up. Italian to English. Ancora tu. You again. Wait. Ancora tu. You again. Interesting. Let's see if I got anything to say that I want to watch later. I wanted to get to. Part of the agenda. Part of the agenda. Who are you in the end? Can you see for yourself before anyone else? I didn't watch this. I was saving this for a whole show later. So I feel like homie's gonna get into some real deal spiel.
Yahweh. And the Bible begins with Genesis. The first book of the Bible is called Genesis, which just means birth or the beginning. Okay? And in the beginning, God creates the universe. And then he discovers that he's lonely. There's no one to talk to. It's not very interesting. So he creates man, Adam. But then he thinks that Adam might be lonely as well. So he creates Eve. Okay? And that's the beginning. So then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground, okay? Dust. So man is made of dust. And breathed in his nostrils the breath of life, and then man became a living being, okay? So God's essence is in Adam. And the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. Out of the ground the Lord God made to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So this is garden, paradise, called Eden. And man was created in order to farm it, to take care of it, okay? He's basically a servant, a slave. And in the center of the garden are two trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The tree of life, as you can imagine, grants immortality, right? The tree of the knowledge of good and evil grants the ability to learn. Okay, so let me explain. Let's imagine that there's this wall in front of me. Okay, so I walk, I hit the wall, it hurts, right? But I don't know that hurting is bad. So I keep on, I keep on hitting the wall and I keep on hurting myself, okay? Because I don't know what's good and what's bad. But now if I know what is good and what is bad, I know, okay, I should not hit the wall, okay? I now have the capacity to learn. And over a lifetime, I will learn a lot. This is the secret of creativity, right? What's really important about this idea is that you need to make a mistake for you to know what is good and evil. Okay, so that's why school is stupid. Because school, we tell you, there's a wall, don't touch it because you will hurt yourself. And you don't touch it, you don't hurt yourself, but you never learn for yourself. Because when you hit the wall, you now are able to reflect and understand how the world works. Okay?
That's like an ancient concept in teaching also that's like translated through some culture still. I remember like when I was younger and I was hanging out with all Brazilians at some point doing capoeira and shit. And my good friend at the time, Alito, he'd always talk about how, because he was Brazilian, but he also said he had that real indigenous blood in him or whatever, the Indian shit. Like he grew up like, he used to tell me, he used to tell me like, it's whack out here where you got to wear all these clothes and shit. He said when he was like a little baby and shit, they'd be in the jungle just ass naked. But that's not the point. The point is, in these tribes, they don't really tell the babies not to do anything. You feel me? They're gonna keep them out of danger. Like they're not gonna let a fucking jaguar get them or some shit. But If the baby is going to the fire, they're not going to say shit. They're just going to let the baby like grab the coal, understand, get burnt, understand that it's hot. Boom. Everything comes from like firsthand experience. So is it just archaic thinking, or is it biblical? Is it something is there some divinity within that?
So the secret to creativity is trying for yourself and learning for yourself what is good and evil. And what this is also saying is that these two things together, creativity plus immortality, allows you to become God. Okay? Does that make sense? Because if you can live forever, but you're always learning, eventually you will absorb all the knowledge of the universe, which is what God is. Okay? God knows everything in the universe. And you can also argue that's why he created us. Because once you are perfection, once you learn everything, you're no longer capable of making mistakes, of learning for yourself. So what you do is you teach students, or you get students to learn for themselves, and that way your knowledge expands. Okay? So it's a really important idea is that man and woman were created to be part of the creative process. Okay? That's why God created us. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to till it and keep it. Okay? So again, the man now is basically a servant or slave. And the Lord God commanded the man, you may freely, okay, you can do whatever you want. Okay, this idea of free choice. So if you want people to be creative, you have to give people free choice. Okay? You have to give people the capacity to make mistakes for themselves. Otherwise, they'll never learn for themselves. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall not eat. From the day that you eat of it, you shall die. Okay? Now, what's amazing about the Bible is that it is poetry. Like all poetry, its meaning is very complicated. Okay, there's multiple layers to the meaning here. So you shall die could mean, okay, the food is poisonous. Okay?
Hold up, was I muted up that whole time? Get the fuck, I was muted up that whole time. Man. You know what? I'll repeat that when the spirit hits me again.
Don't eat the apple. It's not the apple. Don't eat the fruit because you'll eat it. It'll be poisonous and then you'll die, okay? But it's also could be interpreted as a punishment, right? If you eat it, I will have to kill you.
Okay. Oh yeah, what I was saying is like, he's saying creativity comes from making your own mistakes, but you know the classical saying, a wise man learns from somebody else's mistakes or something like that. That is true when it comes to mundane endeavors, you know, mundane life and shit like that. But when it comes to creativity, divinity and shit like that, you can't really learn from somebody else's mistakes, because somebody else's mistake might be exactly what you want to have done. You know, you have to just do, and in doing, it will be revealed to you what is good or evil to you, good or bad, what is a mistake and what's not a mistake. You feel me? You're creating something that's never been seen before, never been thought of before. That is true creativity. That is true art. That's coming from the essence. You feel me? Modern music, modern art. You're trying to fit into a mold. I want to make a trap beat. I want to make this type of beat. I want to go to the festival and play this type of music. We're not getting any new music. We're not getting any new creativity because people are afraid to make their own mistakes when it comes to creativity. You have to make your own mistakes. you can't just march into somebody else's mold unless you just want to perpetuate what's going on and never really be a true creator.
Okay? All right.
My bad.
All right, so this is a very ambiguous story. And that's what makes the story so amazing, because it is uncertain to us what the true meaning of the Bible is, and therefore we have to keep on thinking about it, discussing it, and finding out for ourselves. And at different stages of our lives, our understanding may be different. Okay? What's also interesting is that God draws attention to one tree, but not the other. That's kind of weird, right? There are two trees, the tree of immortality and the tree of learning, but God only says, hey, there's a tree of learning, don't touch that. Which means now that our attention is now focused on this one tree, right? So think of a metaphor. Let's just say that we go to the amusement park, okay? You're my kids, and I say to you, you can ride any ride you want in this amusement park, but there's a ride called the Dragon Roller Coaster. Do not ride that, or you will die. What do? You ride that stupid thing, okay? So it's a really strange setup where God knows everything, but he draws our attention to the one thing that he's afraid of, and it's almost like he's pushing us towards that tree. Okay, because again, if you talk to children, you will know that if you warn them not to do something, they'll go and do it. Okay, so what's going on here? Well,
very interesting interpretation of this Genesis that this guy is breaking down. Because it's kind of like I never really thought about it that way. That's interesting. That pointing out the tree, that's obvious. Pointing out the tree, if you look at a childlike mind or whatever, is going to make you want to go towards the tree. But he says you will surely die. And what's death? Death is like the ultimate fear, Death is the ultimate fear. Just like that quote in Dune that I love, like fear the little death, fear the little death that obliterates all, or some shit like that. So you have to pass through fear to get to true knowledge.
Again, the nature of God is up for debate. You can say that God is being truthful and literal and says that if you touch that tree, you will die, okay? So he's being dishonest, basically, okay? That's one possibility. Another possibility is that he's just stupid. He doesn't really understand how humans work. He created humans, but he doesn't really understand what it means to be human. And he gave us free choice, so he doesn't really appreciate that we would disobey him, okay? That's another possibility. Now, another possibility, okay, which can also be true, is that it's all part of his plan, right? If he truly wants us to understand free choice, if he truly wants us to be creative, then he needs to allow us to make our own mistake.
But there's a hole in this logic. There's a hole in this logic. Because even if it's like you're being thrust towards this, you need to go through fear to get to true knowledge. If you want to go with the story of Genesis, I'm pretty sure they like Adam and them, they were in direct communication with God. Like they could like chop it up with them, from what I understand. So there is no wondering if there is a God. So why would you put these things in place to make this play out like this? So in seeking this in this knowledge, you have the shame of disobeying God that you 100% know is real because you're in direct communication with them because you're Adam and fucking Eve. You know what I'm saying? That's a hole in this logic, Professor Xing Qin. You feel me? That's a hole in this logic. If there is this all-knowing motherfucker, all right.
And so therefore, he's sort of like setting us up, okay? He's sort of like provoking us into making a mistake. All right? Does it make sense? So as you can see how it's only a few words, but it's so complex, and it's an entire universe onto itself. All right? Okay.
Imagine being able.
That screen is fire though. Professor Zing, whatever.
All right. Now, this is a story of God creating woman, okay, Eve.
Big ass iPad.
So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man. The man is lonely and he wants a female companion, okay? And he slept, then he took one of his ribs and closed up his place with flesh. The rib that the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman and brought her to the man. The man said, "This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one should be called woman, for out of man this one was taken." Okay? Now, you can make the argument that man is superior because man came first. But you can also make the argument that woman is superior because woman is made of higher quality. Woman is made of flesh, right? Man is made out of dust. So this is almost revolutionary, the conception, because you would think that in this world, men are at the top. But this Bible is telling us, no, women are made of higher quality material. They're made of actual flesh, right? And that's why we think that the person who wrote this was actually a woman. And as you read the Bible more and more, you will discover that this genius who wrote the Bible, who first wrote the Bible, was in fact a woman. And that's revolutionary, okay? All right, so therefore a man leaves.
Don't just move on, substantiate that claim, nigga.
Leaves his father and his mother and clings to his wife, and they become one flesh. And the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed. Okay, all right, let's continue. Now the serpent was more crafty than any other wild animal that the Lord had made. He said to the woman, "Did God say you shall not eat from any tree in the garden?" The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but God said, you shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden, nor shall you touch it, or you shall die." Okay, this is really strange, okay? Because what you will notice is that the serpent chooses to talk to the woman, but not to the man. Okay? And also, what's really interesting is
I need some Bible experts to come through here because I never even thought of this. Were Adam and Eve chopping it up with all the animals? Like all the animals could just come chop it up and kick it with you. You have little conversations with the animals. Or this is like out of the ordinary. And this bitch is just over there talking to the snake. Like talking to a goddamn serpent. Like it's not good. If you want to take it literally, because it says right here, if I'm supposed to take the Bible literally, more crafty than any other wild animal the Lord had made. So it's a fucking animal.
having a debate. But the serpent said to the woman, "You will not die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be open, and you'll be like God, knowing good and evil." So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired to make one.
Hold up, don't they already know good and evil? Because the garden is perfect, everything is good, and God said that one tree is evil. So you should already know what good and evil is. Weirdos.
Wise, she took of its fruit and ate, and she gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate. And then the eyes of both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made loins clothes for themselves. Okay, this is really interesting because the woman is making this decision by herself, right? The serpent says, "Hey, why don't you judge for yourself whether the fruit is good or not?" The woman looks at the fruit and says, "I judge for myself, it is good." Okay? This is revolutionary. Where the woman is making the decisions. You would think that once the serpent said this to her, she would go to her husband and say, "Hey, Adam, the serpent said this. What do you think?" Okay? But the woman's like, "No, I can see for myself what is true." And then, so she eats the fruit by herself, and then she tells her husband, "Eat the fruit as well." And the husband falls. Also as well. So this tells us that the real hero of the story is actually.
I was out by the tree that God said not to be by, and I ate some fruit, and it was fire. He said, "You ate off the fruit that shit that God said not to eat." Yeah, I ate the fruit. He's like, "Oh shit. All right, fuck. You ate the fruit. Shit." You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Try a little bit of this fruit. Come try this little bit of this fruit. Like, nah, man. God said not to try the fruit, and I'm not trying to try the fruit. You know, be like, oh, now you don't ever want to try it. Now you don't ever. Boom. Now we're all in hell.
The woman. Okay? Okay. Then they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden at the time of the evening breeze, and the man and his wife hid themselves in the presence of the God among the trees of the garden. Okay? So they know they're in trouble. They know that God will discover that they ate from the fruit.
So they don't know good and evil, but they know they're in trouble. So they had to, man, are you going to try to justify this by now they ate the fruit, now they know good and evil, now they know they did wrong? Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
They ate from the tree and they're scared. Okay? And the Lord God called the man and said to him, "Where are you?" He said, "I heard the sound of you in the garden. I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself." So he knows that being naked is wrong, okay? Being naked is bad. "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree of which I commanded you not to eat?" The man said, "The woman whom you gave to me with me, she gave me fruit from the tree and I ate." Okay? So the man is blaming the woman.
Doesn't it sound kind of like niggas? What? Who told you were naked? Who told you were naked? You ate from that tree? you know this this woman that you put up in here. this nigga is weak, dog. Why?
The man says,
why the first man so weak? Why is the nigga so weak? How come we not talking about that? Why the nigga say, hey, eat from the, I ate from the tree, you eat from the tree now. What the fuck is this?
My fault. I was just following her, okay? So again, the woman, what's amazing about this is the woman is the hero of the story. Then the Lord God said to the woman, "What is it that you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent tricked me and I ate." Okay? All right. So at this point in the story, what can we expect? We can expect that God will have no choice but to kill.
This guy's interpretation is so weird. If she's the hero of the story, why would she be feeling shame about it and shit? She said the serpent tricked me and I ate. She didn't stand on that shit. She didn't stand on that shit. Said, "Nigga, I wanted to eat from the tree. I ate from the tree. I was tired of this shit. I was tired of this shit. I ate from the tree." What? She didn't stand on it. She said the serpent tricked me. This guy's a weirdo.
Adam and Eve, right? Because God's words were, if you eat from that fruit, you will surely die. And so even though the fruit wasn't poisonous, God still has a duty to kill Adam and Eve. And if we were in the Iliad, okay, then surely Adam and Eve would have died. Because the gods in the Iliad, the Greek gods, most gods are vengeful. They're wrathful, right? But not this God, okay? Yahweh is different. Okay, look, what happens next is the man named his wife Eve because she was the mother of all living, and the Lord God made garments of skins for the man and his wife and clothed them. Instead of being angry at Adam and Eve, he offers them a present, okay? The question then is, why? Well, there are different possibilities, right? The first possibility is that God himself recognizes that I made a mistake here. I shouldn't have drawn attention to this fruit, right? Therefore, it's my fault. Therefore, this is a God that's capable of self-reflection and forgiveness. Okay, this is revolutionary, guys, okay? Because again, remember, gods at this time are vengeful, wrathful. You must obey them or they will strike you down.
Hold on, doesn't he kick him out of the garden? Doesn't he kick him out of the garden? Do I have the story wrong? If you forgive somebody, you don't, all right, I mean,
But this God is different. This God is like, listen, you should not have eaten that fruit, but it was my fault as well. So I forgive you. He's capable of self-reflection, okay? Another possibility is, again, this is what God wanted all along. Okay? And we know this because the man named his wife Eve. So the man honors his wife, okay, with a name. And it's the mother of all living. Okay, you are the true goddess. Okay, so what happens next is God's like, okay, well, you still disobey me, so I will have to punish you now. Okay, so what he does is he punishes the man by making him now have to toil for food. Okay, he has to be a farmer. He punishes the woman by making childbirth painful. He punishes the serpent by making him slither on the ground. Okay, so this is all good, right? But now what God does.
All right. So he made the serpent to slither on the ground. So when he said he was the most crafty of the animals he had created, so that's kind of like letting it on that its original form was not that of the serpent that we know of today, you know, crawling on its belly or whatever you want to say, you know? But they don't let on to the original make and model of the serpent. You feel me? So this is just left ambiguous right here. So this is an animal. Was this another dude there, like a half kind of dude? You know, a reptilian?
Is this. He actually throws the Adam and Eve out of the garden, okay? Okay? So why? The Lord God said, see, the man has become like one of us. All right? So Eve did the right thing.
The Lord God saith, man has become like one of us. Us.
Knowing good and evil, and now he might reach out his hand and
this is monotheistic. How are you using us? It's polytheistic, right?
also take from the tree of life and eat and live forever, okay? So that's what Godhood is. Godhood is the capacity to learn for yourself as well as to live forever. So God's afraid, hey, if Adam and Eve eat that tree of life, they'll become like God as well. Therefore, the God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken. He drove out the man, and at east of the Garden of Eden, he placed a cherubim, an angel, a sword flaming and turning to guard the way to the tree of life. And so this is our banishment from the Garden of Eden. Now, most people...
He drove the man out. So it wasn't like, so that's forgiveness, but he got to drive your ass out. All right. And at the east, and then he placed a goddamn cherubim with a flaming sword to guard the goddamn tree. All right.
I think that this is a bad thing, okay? But you can also interpret this as a good thing. So God chose us to make us creative, but without the possibility of living forever. Why? Because if you think about it, creativity is death. Without the concept of death, you cannot be truly creative. Okay? First of all, if you think I'm going to live forever, you're not actually motivated to do anything, right? You're not motivated to make the most of your life. But actually making the most of your life, you can't be creative. Also, if you live forever, your children cannot be creative. Your grandchildren cannot be creative. So for humans to be creative as a species, death must be an inevitability. Okay, does that make sense? So you can say that, okay, God doesn't really know what he's doing. It's his first time having children. He's making a lot of mistakes. Okay, but you can also say that it's all part of his plan. His plan is to make us creative because that is what's divine. Creativity is what's truly divine.
I agree with that last one. Creativity is what's divine, but it's kind of like saying that all creativity and art is like a cope. You're coping for death. You want to leave something that would be here or something like that, you know? Well, that was interesting. I didn't expect to watch that, but I'm out. This is disagreeable. I'm disagreeable. We're disagreeable. You know what it is. Peace.